Hi, welcome to my first, what do we call these things, podcast. I'd have done one of these before, but literally I'm doing this with my mobile phone stuck on top of an old tripod stuck together with an elastic band that snaps twice, and I'm about to try and tie it back together again. So it's the equipment I'm trying to work with whilst doing this, but I was really excited to make a short video. I guess just to introduce me, to let you know more about me, and also I really wanted to reply to a couple of comments that I've seen today. So I'll respond to a post that I put up earlier first. So I've put a picture of the back of my forthcoming album, Sunlight's Caress. I've got a comment from Ben Curran. Surely you need to make a video for each child. I actually laughed out loud when I read that. When I was looking at into creating an album, into recording music, my wife found a producer in Ireland, and he said, "Well, you're going to have to start somewhere. You can't just create an album of all of your music. You're going to have to really narrow it down and just pick 11 music that shows somewhat of a range and that has a similar theme." So the first album is an album of contemporary classical piano music. Ben, when you asked that question just yesterday, Peter, who is 6, he said to me, "Dad, you haven't written a song for me yet." And I said, "Well, what type of song do you want me to write for you?" And he said, "I want you to write me a rock song." So he's a little rock star. He really is. I got him. Look at this here. I was in a charity shop before Christmas, and I got him this little electric guitar. I'm gonna have to get you some pictures of him playing it. He had a great day on Christmas Day. He was dancing all over, just shaking his head. He didn't care whether it was in tune musically. He was just having an awesome time. He's a rock star, and so naturally he wants a rock song, and I will write a rock song for him. But as I was trying to explain in the comments, and it perhaps didn't work too well because there's just so much to be said, I write music based upon emotion and based upon the feeling and based upon what I'm thinking and what the setting is and what the light is. And I don't deliberately, okay, sometimes I deliberately set out to write music, but I'd say that's like 1% of the type of music that I write. 99% of the type of music that I write is I'll just be thinking about something. I've got music in my head all the time, and it's just about sifting through and picking out something. I think, oh, that sounds really special, and then I'll then really focus in on that piece of music, and then I'll try and get that piece of music expressed. I'll try to get it written down. Now, I don't play musical instruments particularly well. I play a bit of the guitar and I play a little bit of the piano. I don't write much music. I don't read much music. I haven't been classically trained. So the way that I do it is I will focus in on the notes that I hear inside, and then I'll go to the piano and I will press a note on the piano till it matches what I'm hearing, and then that's my start, and I know how to just about get the lines of the stave. You know, I remember I had a couple of piano lessons when I was, a few piano lessons perhaps when I was about 10 years old, and I remember that my piano teacher telling me that every boy deserves, what was it, every good boy deserves fun. So that was the lines, and that the spaces spell face. So that's armed with that knowledge, I've written all of this complex music which is beyond my capability to play, and so I've relied on finding talented musicians to be able to play my compositions. And I guess every one of us have a gift. Some people have the gift of being able to read music and play it, and others have the gift of that I clearly do, of just hearing the music and then being able to somehow get that out of my head and into a form that other people can play. The classical music, it's difficult to write, but I find it easier to write than things like jazz, which I just cannot figure out how to write that stuff, and rock music. there are many. I have all sorts of music. I was actually thinking of perhaps uh, calling my first album something like Damien's Mysterious Eclection, something along those lines, because it's just such a range of music. I get everything in my head. The wind and the rain makes music to me. I hear that. Um, Goodness knows how I'd express that in such a way that it could be recorded and written down so that other people could enjoy it. So I guess to your question of surely I should write music for all my children, um, I have music all the time. The question is whether or not I get time to write it down. If I'm driving in the car and I look at one of my children and see them smile and I immediately have a beautiful piece of music, do I have time to pull over and write it down, or do I need to get to where I'm going? Will I have forgotten the piece of music by the time I get there? And this happens so much. There's so many thousands, millions of pieces of music, beautiful, amazing melodies that I've forgotten because I haven't had time to write them down. Sometimes what I'll try to do is get a piece of paper out and just write the notes as best I can, and then later on I'll try and get to a piano and play them and think, what is this? Sometimes it'll all come flowing back, and other times it's just lost into the ether, as it were. So I've had many pieces of music for all of my children. I guess I was blessed, and Julia was blessed with her lullaby, that I had that piece of music, and I guess because she was going to sleep, she fell asleep, and I was able to put her in her bed and then immediately go down and think this is beautiful, and I was able to go to the piano and just start playing one note at a time to get that music out, and then enough so that I could come back later and write out the whole piece. But specifically in the comment, what I'm looking at doing, so I've had such a great time not only writing the music for Julia, and then obviously I decided that I just had to include that piece on my first album. It's such a beautiful piece, and I was asking for ideas with my manager and producer, my wife, and friends, and a lot of people came together to say, look, these should be the pieces on your first album. And I guess Julia's Lullaby is beautiful, and it naturally fitted on there. And I had a wonderful time making the video and just going through all those beautiful memories of Julia that I've had of her growing up. Just remembering her first step. She's 8 now, and I've got all those memories from when she was born that just seems like a second ago. And I'm sure that any parents watching this will identify. You'll know. You're just thinking about your children just a moment ago. They were babies that you were holding, and now they're probably grown up and they've got children. And my daughter's 8, but I know that it's not going to be long until she also has her own children, and then later on grandchildren. And as many people have commented on Julia's video, I've had such a great amount of support and kind words from that, so thank you for everybody who's commented. It means a lot. But I've had a lot of comments about how timeless it is, what a beautiful gift it is, how it's her music and how special it is, and you are absolutely right. Julia loves her lullaby. Every day she asks me to play it, and I play the CD of the pre-release version of my album in the car pretty much every day, and she gets excited when she hears her music. And when there's other tracks playing, she's in the car, Daddy, can you put it back to my piece of music? She loves it. She absolutely loves her video, and it's such a special and amazing opportunity to put that video together. Going through all the hundreds of photos that I've got, and the video footage that I've got, and selecting pictures, and there's so much I had to leave out, particularly with her skipping. There's just such a beautiful picture I have, just looking so gorgeous and innocent and beautiful and happy, skipping along in a beautiful woodland near to where I live. It really has been a blessing in my life to be able to hear the music, to go through the process of realising that I've actually got a gift, and then progressing that to finding a producer, and to being able to get to the amazing Real World studio to record in Abbey Road in London. Abbey Road in London, that was an amazing feeling. There were tourists during the day who would come and go and take photographs and videos of themselves outside the iron railings of Abbey Road. It was amazing being able to actually go past those railings. You know, there's a no entry sign. It's private property, no entry. It's a working studio. It was amazing being able to go past those gates as a musician, working with amazingly talented musicians at the top of their profession to record my beautiful music that so many people have commented on and enjoy. And I'm hoping that I'll be able to create many more albums going forward in the future. Not just of classical music, I'll do the rock song for Peter as he's requested at some point. There are some very thought-provoking and sad pieces from when my father passed away that I'd like to record at some point. There are more contemporary pop piece of music. For those of you who've looked at my YouTube channel, you'll see quite I guess kind of a sad song, but thought-provoking song of the feeling that I guess we've all been through at some point, of having lost love, broken up with someone that we care deeply about, and it just feels like winter in our hearts, and we're dying to try and find a way back to happiness and sunshine. I've called that song "The Way to Summer," sung by a friend of mine. Beautiful song. So there are many songs that I have inside, and it's just about sifting through all the music that I have in my head, and getting the time to write out the ones I can. Struggling to write out some of them. Jazz, as I say, has been a real challenge to get those types of songs written down. But as I say, I had to really whittle down the selection of music on my first album. My manager was saying, no, you can't just have music of every type of genre. You need to focus it down just to contemporary classical piano. Maybe next one you can do an orchestration one. I've got a lot of orchestra type work. There'll need to be a lot of work with us talented musicians getting that ready to record. But as you can imagine, the challenge of getting an orchestra together in somewhere like Abbey Road to record it is going to be time consuming. It's going to be expensive. I will do it when the time and money enables me to do so, and I'm looking forward to your support to help with that going forwards. So this is a work in progress. But my manager was and producer, they were very specific that I had to focus in on just a very narrow range of music. It had to be by one musician so that we'd be able to afford to do it and afford the studio time. It had to focus on one genre, and this is the wonderful work that I've produced that I'm really excited for. And I do love classical music. My heart is full of classical music. I think more than any other type of music, perhaps. Although there is all other music there, but there's just something very special. I've always been a really big fan of Beethoven and Chopin and Mozart and Handel and all of these wonderful giants. I love them, and they've had such a huge and profound effect upon my life. And I think it's a wonderful opportunity to take the music from my head and to share that with others, so that we can share in the music. Another comment that I had that just earlier that I really enjoyed reading. Let's find that. Joanne Bloom from Phoenix, Arizona. I love Phoenix. I had such a great time there about 20 years ago. She mentions, I have 2 daughters and love that you composed a work for her. I'm a violinist and used to sit on my daughters' beds and play them to sleep with music. What a wonderful memory for them, as you say. What a treasure. I love the way that on different sides of the planet music connects us. There's something very special and wonderful about music. It connects us to our children, it connects us to our ancestors, it connects us with each other across continents, across languages, across cultures. There have been so many people from different cultures who have enjoyed my music and enjoyed the video of Julia and Julia's Lullaby. And it's great to connect with you all and to share these special gifts with you. So thank you for the time you've taken to look at my video and to listen to my music and to like my page, to take the time to share beautiful comments. I really appreciate that. It really uplifts me to see wonderful comments, and I enjoy that. I guess I'll leave this podcast here. I'll try to create another video discussing, or maybe several videos discussing the inspiration behind the different piece of music. I'll start off just with the piece of music on my forthcoming album, Sunlight's Caress. I'll go through those different pieces of music and I'll discuss the inspiration behind them, what I was thinking, the thoughts and feelings that I had when they came to mind. And going forwards, I guess I'll do that with hundreds of other pieces of music that I have as I manage to get them recorded, get them out to you. I look forward to doing that and look forward to your comments and continued support. So thank you very much. I'm d.bamforth, composer, and until next time, thank you.